Yo, Tripolar Bear. Let's talk about this huge Reddit post. It blew up on PC Gaming. It's kind of just talking about Path of Exile, why its player base has kind of been dropping off, maybe why some people didn't like this league, or, he gives some kind of good reasons. It kind of gives some bad reasons. I don't know if anybody else saw this, but I was linked to it and I saw it. I read it. I kind of agree with some of it. But let's go into kind of why I think this league didn't do so well and some things that I really believe GGG needs to fix before POE 2 comes out, or, at least, God, sometime soon, right? Some of these problems are huge. I think they're causing a lot of people to feel burnout a lot faster than maybe they normally would. Normal players, I feel, in my mind, play the new league for 2 weeks to a month and then kind of just like slowly drop off after that and then come back the next league, for the next, whatever, after, another 2 weeks to a month, something like that, right? I think most people kind of fall into that category. But I feel like with this league, all of those kind of players fell off a lot faster, unfortunately. So this guy has three outlines here. He thinks streamer priority queue had something to do with that. I think that had nothing to do with it at all. Honest to God, like the streamer queue, all of these memes, like we've talked about it so many times. Honestly, I don't think anybody really cares for like Shroud or Asmongold. People who are kind of like paid, or I don't know if Asmongold was paid, but I know Shroud was. All right, people like this, yeah, give them the queue. Okay, it doesn't matter. But people like Empyrean, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth, right? These like trade league pushers or people who are pushing to be the first to do whatever, right? That's kind of crappy. I think GGG knows that. I don't think this is a huge issue for player drop off. He says this season's league mechanic, he's talking about it being a circle league, ritual 2, all of this stuff. How easy it is on an evasion dodge character. I can kind of see where they're coming from. It was another kind of circle league, except this time you don't have so much agency over the rewards, but you do have agency when to leave the mechanic, and it is a difficult mechanic. They make it sound super easy. It was very punishing for early league start builds once you got into red maps, but it doesn't sound like this player got to doing red maps. They say for the first few weeks, the most efficient farming strat was to go to low level zones. They're talking about quarry farming. They're just completely wrong. The most efficient farming strat was not quarry farming. Quarry farming was literally the worst one. It's something you do if you're not even in white maps yet, right? If you go through white maps, those ultimatums and everything in a white map is better than anything you could get from quarry. And then go to yellow maps, that's better. Red maps, that's better. So I don't know. It kind of leads me to believe they didn't get too far into it. So I kind of disagree with them there. But on this third point, they always have a nerf first approach to balancing. I kind of agree with this, and this is going to be one of my 5 points that I think GGG needs to change here. So like the average player needing to do more and more every league to reach the kind of end game, which is now Maven passives, and when you start to farm in specific Atlas regions, doing specific strategies. So like instead of adding more post end game stuff, right? I like delve. I've never done delve, but I like that it's there. It was always an option for me to go deep delve farming as an additional infinitely scaling farming method or something like that, right? It's cool. And I think more stuff like that would be nice. They give a good point where there's no T16 post for most people. Now, this is, let's talk about that now. The end game farming here. So in Ritual League, endgame farming was huge, right? We had all of these crazy farms, dude. There's Hunter Deli, all of this stuff. It was so good and so fun, I think, for a lot of people. At least it was for me. And a lot of that had to do for me with how little trading I had to do. In Ritual League, you would create or just buy a map base, and now you don't have to buy delirium orbs. You don't have to buy and roll sextants, and you don't have to buy and roll maps. That's sick. That's really sick, right? You just buy fractured fossils, you copy it, and now all you need is scarabs. But Ritual League, you can sustain your scarabs by doing scarab delirium rewards. That was cool. I don't know why they changed that. I mean, I kind of understand, you know, farming, it was a little it was a little maybe too much or something like that. But it seems like they really just completely like kind of gutted it. It feels really bad because now you have to buy, if you want to do post tier 16 content, that's going to be 100% delirium, right? That is the next step above maps, right? Obviously it's 20 to 100, but you know, the 100, that's where it's at for map farming, right? It's the most difficult and it should be the most rewarding because it is the most difficult. Now I have to get my maps. I have to, you know, have chisels, right? Now all of this elking and whatnot, scours, you'll probably get it back from your 100 delirium. But the big stuff is like having to buy 5 delirium orbs every single map, having to roll your sextants and buy a bunch of sextants every 3 to 4 maps. It just has made it so much more tedious on top of the nerfed delirium rewards. Breach is not as rewarding, not nearly as much. I don't think it even drops pure breach stones or breach stones at all now. I know Blight doesn't even drop Blight maps anymore. Scarab is dropping so much less. All of these rewards are just dropping so much less than they used to be. So now, like, farming has been nerfed. Now crafting is king, you know, all this stuff. It kind of sucks because I feel like most people love farming. I like going into a map, I like killing monsters, and I like getting stuff for that. And I like to just keep doing that. I don't know, it's cathartic, it's fun. I don't know, dude. That's why I like playing POE. I don't like to finish a map, sigh to myself as I have to go and buy more delirium orbs, scarabs, you know, all the sextants, and then I have to roll my sextants, and I have to buy a watchstone, and I have to roll sextants on that watchstone, and I just want to kill monsters, man. You know, like, you know, come on, man, damn. Uh, that's a huge thing. I think GGG needs to do something along those lines, fixing this kind of end game farm where it kind of feels bad now to try to do the pinnacle of map content where it felt really good before, right? You just buy fracture fossils and you're fine. I was reading some of these comments, and a huge one that I saw was Flask problems, right? Flask juggling, or you know, having to, yeah, right, juggle your flasks and whatnot. That is crazy. That is still in this game. I can't believe that there's a game out there where you have 4 to 5 buffs that you need to cycle, or I guess juggle 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 every like 4-5 seconds, depending on if you have an alchemist flask or something like that. Uh, what other game do you do that in, right? In World of Warcraft, if there was a class where you had 5 buffs that you had to keep up at all times and they were off the global cooldown, and you had to press 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 every 3 to 4 seconds to keep these buffs up, or you're going to die and you will do no damage. And you won't have recovery, you know, if you're using a life flask or your mana flask with indigo, you know, all this stuff like that, right? Nobody would want to play that. That's so annoying, dude, right? Like, I get it. You know, buttons are cool to press in a game when they are meaningful. The flasks, they are, you know, they're pretty meaningful, but they're also super tedious, right? World of Warcraft could very easily just add an extra 3 to 4 buttons onto every class that do a bunch of stuff. But that's really dumb, right? Think about that. That's dumb. You just sit there and you have to tell a new player, hey, you are going to have to press 5, 4, 3, 2 all the time when you get to maps. And they're like, what? I have to keep flasks up all the time, not just Quicksilver? And it's like, yes, or you're going to die. And if you're a crit build, you won't do any damage if you don't have your Diamond Flask up or your Bottled Faith. And, you know, if you don't have your Basalt up, you're going to die to Fizz, or your Taste of Hate up, you're going to die to Fizz. You know, all this stuff. It's crazy. Trying to convince a new player to not only start this very intimidating game, but also to start using Flask all the time. Super annoying. TLDR, use a Flask macro. All right, that's number 2. Skill and build balancing. I saw this in a few of these comments as well. Let me see if we can bring some of these up. You know, holding quality of life options and whatnot. I agree with that. You know, there's a lot of quality of life that can happen. A lot of it has to do with clicking and whatnot. But skill and build balancing. The builds between leagues, I used to feel that whenever they released a new skill, that was what you wanted to play that league, right? Blade Flurry came out a little early. Still, you really wanted to play it. Winter Orb, you really wanted to play it. The Cyclone rework, you really wanted to play that, right? That was huge circle, super fun. All right. Uh, Nowadays, I feel like some of the abilities they release them and they're like just barely good enough sometimes. I they used to be like better than everything else, right? It used to be blatant. It was like, oh, dude, I can't wait to play the new ability. And now it's like, oh god, I hope Crackling Lance is better than Arc. What the fuck happened, dude? Like, what the fuck, dude? I want to play the new stuff and I want the new stuff to be good. But now the best stuff is old stuff and they've just nerfed the old stuff. So after you have all of this, whatever meta in place, you don't raise any of the floor of any other abilities up. You don't make sure the new abilities are better than what we have now, which, that's kind of why we play stuff, because it's really good and because it's pretty fun. If you just nerf the old stuff and it's still the best, well, now it just feels worse, right? If you were playing Bladefall Blade Blast before, Bladefall Blade Blast still really good, right? It's just worse than it used to be. A lot of these abilities are just worse than they used to be. Carrion Golems are just worse than they used to be. Still pretty good. There's so much stuff. It's still really good, but it's just worse off now, which kind of sucks. And it's not fun to just do that. And then on top of, no new skill stuff, I think they really got to work on that. I get nerfing OP things 100%. But if you just nerf everything that was good, and then, I don't know, like, it just doesn't feel good if there's no new shiny toy to play with. Which is where I feel like previous leagues, like, like years ago, dude, every time something came out, like I said before, it used to be the thing to play, right? You play the new ability and it's going to be good. Because why would they release a new ability and make it bad, right? All right, that was number 3. Number 4, there's so much clicking. One of these dudes says he's generated or he's gotten RSI, right? This guy. I've developed RSI in my left wrist. POE is very hard, particularly on the left. There's so many people. I've never seen a video game have so many people develop wrist and finger injuries when they're not even like playing as professional league players or anything like that, right? It's just some dude who comes home and plays games and now his hand's fucked. That needs to be changed. I don't know what to tell you, man. This shit's fucked. All of the splinters and whatnot, all of this stuff that you're constantly picking up. Every time you pick something up, you have to click it 4 times, right? Click it in the map. Click it from your inventory to the stash. Click it from the stash to your inventory. Click it into the trade or vendor window. Every single time you pick something up, there's 4 clicks, and there's so much stuff that is shot out of the game nowadays. They really got to do something about that, right? AoE looting. I don't know if they want to have like an auto loot pet system like in the China realm. I don't really know if we need that. But like, they got to do something, right, man? Maybe like a hover loot system where I could just hover my mouse around and pick stuff up, right? That would be huge. But right now, like, there's just splinters, there's shards, you have little currencies, and you can filter some of this stuff out. But the more you're filtering out, sometimes you're going to make a lot less, right? At least nowadays, I filter out Zoth, Ash. I filter out all of those like lower kind of splinters, except Zoth. This league, Zoth was nuts. And then I try to pick only Olmetal and Chayula. But at some point, like, you're just starting to hamper yourself, right? I still have to click all those Ol and Chayula splinters. I still have to get all of the Karui, Templar, Maricat, all of those splinters as well. There's just so much stuff, right? Every time I do a mechanic, right? Ultimatum pops out a bunch of stuff. I'm sitting there for 20 seconds. Elva pops out a bunch of stuff. I'm sitting there picking stuff up for 10 seconds. Or maybe I'm exaggerating on, the times, but there's just so much stuff to pick up. It's kind of annoying, and it leads to more kind of wrist, finger, etc. injuries, where we don't really need them, right? On top of Flask, on top of how many times you have to click something, on top of all of this stuff, like, it's all just this huge mess that's fucking with people's hands. So that's like a huge problem, right? That needs to be addressed. Whether, I don't know what they're going to do, right? They could make less stuff drop and have it be more valuable. They could combine splinters and shards. I think that would be huge, right? I'm so fucking surprised. I'm so fucking surprised that the Breach rework didn't include splinters pooping out at the end. I don't know, man. If I was at this, you know, the GGG studio, it would have been like, hey, man, if we're gonna do a breach rework, how about we make it so you could just click all this stuff right away, and so you're not like killing your hands. But I guess nobody there said that, or if somebody did, they just said no megalol. Another huge issue right now, game performance. We all know this, right? Everybody's experienced this. There's been bloom, there's been texture streaming, there's, you know, you open a delirium mirror and all of a sudden you start losing frames, you're in the middle of an ultimatum, you lag for 0.5 seconds, clap, you're dead. There's so much stuff like that, right? We have good computers. At least, man, I have a 1080. I used to feel like I had a good computer. POE makes me feel like my computer is trash now. It sucks, dude. Like, I don't know. When did a 1080 not become good enough, man? It's only been a few years, but like, come on, dude. It's not that bad, but maybe I'm just coping. I don't know. I feel like everybody knows, you know, game performance, though. It's a huge issue. I don't know. I have no idea how to solve it. I don't know, dude. Other games don't have this problem. PoE does. I hope it gets figured out. It's okay. I have no fucking clue. And then, of course, another huge issue, probably maybe the biggest one, as it kind of ties in with a lot of other things. Trading. All right. This is going to be a blanket statement, but I'm going to say nobody likes trading. All right. Nobody likes trading. We all just want to play the game, right? Whether you want to craft, whether you want to just like be a support with your homie, running around, you know, picking stuff up, having fun. You know, whether you just want to be the farmer, you know, the whatever. Very, very few people want to be a trader, right? If you're going to team up with your friends, someone wants to be the carry, someone's okay with being the support, and someone's forced to be a trader most of the time. All right. Shout out to all the traders out there. You make PoE playable though. Real talk. The people that actually don't mind trading. But for me, dude, I'm mapping. I'm doing some nice juicy farm. I got all this stuff. I'm doing whatever, right? I'm doing harbingers. I'm picking up all this money. I'm doing 100 deli. I'm getting all this stuff. And then I realize this is the last map I get to do before I have to trade. And I kind of just sigh to myself. And I think, man, I don't want to fucking trade. I'll just do some vanilla red maps. All right. Or, you know, whatever. It's just like, dude, that sucks. Why the fuck is that in your game loop? Where it's just like, oh, I'm having fun, I'm killing monsters, dude. Look at my herald effect. Oh, dude, it looks celestial, so cool, right? All the pretty colors. I'm just running around, boom, 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 everything's exploding. And then I leave the map. I want to get right back in there. I want to throw a map in and start exploding monsters. But no, I have to go to the fucking trade website. All right, let's say I need to buy. And you know what? We'll do something a little fancy. All right, I have an enter, control V, enter, auto hotkey. I don't think it's against TOS because it's just copy pasting a message. It's not doing anything fancy. All right, let's say that I need to buy some more, you know, rusted breach scarabs for my breach farm or something like that, right? Or, you know, God forbid you're doing 100 deli and you have to buy 100 deli orbs, right? On top of scarabs, on top of everything else, right? Let's just say I'm buying some rusted breaches. All right, I want a min stock of 10. All right, let's see. All right, we got to go here. We got to click this. We got to boom. All right, you got to spurg spam, right? There's no time to wait because that dude's probably not getting back. This dude might have already sold them or is AFK. This guy might not be there, right? This is awful. How the fuck is this the best way to trade? Like doing this spurg spam stuff is so dumb. And then I have to like go over here and like I have to do this like for like 8 different things, and half the time these motherfuckers won't get back to you, right? More than half, right? I PM 4 guys, the 4th guy got back to me, right? Or you know, wait, he didn't even. No, who is this? I don't even know. One of these guys has D&D on, right? There's just so much stuff, and then I have to do this for like all the other stuff, right? All of my other scarabs, all of my other currencies, my sextants, my watchstones, my delirium orbs, God, right? All of that stuff. Then you go back to your hideout, and then you click it all back in your stash one at a time. You know, that's not fun. I don't know, man. Make it fun. Make it fun or make it way less tedious. Because it's kind of silly to have a part of your game be so exhausting where if I encounter this late at night, I'll just stop playing. I'll just stop playing. I'm done for the night. I'll do trading tomorrow. I don't want to go trade right before I go to bed or something. So, you know, just stop and I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. And think of how many people say that, and that was their last night playing in the league. The next day, they see a game, and the game's fun. There's no bullshit in the game, and then they just play the game, right? There's no fucking splinters and shards and trading and flasks. There's none of that. They open up, they queue, or they do whatever, and then they have fun, as long as it's not league. But yeah, that's why I love the old 100 deli system, right? I just brought fractured fossils, and I could sustain my scarabs. I just blast, I have fun. I get my fractured fossils, right? This is all I did. I just go boom, I get a fractured fossil, I have my map, and there we go. I got another map. I do this one more time. I get my little thing, I do this, right? Or, you know, whatever, it's a fractured fossil, I click it on the map, and now I got another map, right? I don't have to buy delirium orbs, I don't have to roll sextants, buy sextants. I don't have to do any of that. That's pretty cool. But the way it is now kind of sucks. I didn't want to buy delirium orbs the whole league because I knew how fucking annoying it was going to be. Now, does this mean I think there should be an auction house for everything? No. But I think there should be one for at least currency and frag, right? You sell your currencies super fast. That's cool. I don't have to go to some fucking currency bot and, like, you know, hopefully the 8th one lets me sell all of my scours or something, right? I just list my scours or whatever, right? I don't have to dump on some dude. Some dude just comes and gets the dump from me. Scarabs, it'd be sick if I could leave. Oh my god, imagine you leave your map, you go to your scarab tab, and then you just buy an extra breach scarab if you need one, or you just like, I want to buy this, and you just buy it, and then you go into the map again. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful, right? There's no fucking around. There's no PMing 5 people. I just get what I need, and I can play the game. There's no thought in my mind of whether or not this is where I want to end my session for the night. And I don't understand. I don't know, dude. Maybe it's just me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm too young. I'm not sure, but these are my thoughts. TLDR, use a Flask macro. Trading sucks. Farming is worse. Nerf the good stuff. It's still the best. That sucks. And game performance blows, and I'm clicking too much. All right, fingies hurt. Anyways, subscribe.